forward, you're not going to keep running the same ad over and over again unless you know it's providing a result. And yeah, Ford may waste some money on branding, but then go take a small and medium business. You know for a fact a small and medium business that's only doing a few $1,000,000 in revenue or even $100,000 in revenue isn't going to burn tens of thousands of dollars on advertising unless they're making more than what they're spending. Another tool that I love using is Built With. With Built With, you put in a competitor URL or any site. You can even put in your own website. It tells you all the tools and services that they're using. For example, if they're running A/B testing is a way you can figure out how to maximize your conversions. It'll tell you, hey, if you did this design change or you change this copy, are you getting more sales or less sales? If you know someone's using Optimizely, right, because Built With will show you if they're using any software like Optimizely or Google Analytics, you can then figure out if they're running multiple tests. And then you can see which variations of their home page are causing more sales. Another tool that you should check out is Ahrefs. Ahrefs shows you every single person that's linking to your competitor. And then you can hit up each of these sites and beg for links. And I'll give you email templates in the next section that you can use to hit these sites up one by one and get those links. Now, remember how I talked about Built With? When you see that someone's using, let's say, Optimizely as their A/B testing solution, or they're using Crazy Egg, or they're using Visual Website Optimizer, go to Wayback Machine, just Google it, you'll see the website, pop in the URL, and it puts a little blue circle every time someone's made a design change. For example, if you look at the Neil Patel's website, my homepage does not look like this. But in January 2015, it did look like this, and it stayed like this for a very long time. So what should that tell you? Especially considering I'm using Optimizely, Crazy Egg, and other testing tools. That means this page converted really well. So if you're competing with me, you can consider copying this design. Open Site Explorer, it's another tool that I love. Again, a lot of these tools are for free. So with Open Site Explorer, you can put in your URL and all your competitor URLs, and I'll show you how you stack up from how many pages you have to how many links you have to your popularity. All these things show you where you need to improve your business compared to your competitors. So now let's get into link building. Remember I talked about Ahrefs? So when you put in a URL in Ahrefs, it shows you who links to your competitors. Links are like votes. The more you have, the better off you are. Think about the presidential election. If you're a president and you're running, or you're a potential president and you're running, the more votes you get, you're going to win. So if you have 1,000,000 votes while the next candidate has 500,000 votes, you're going to win. Now the main caveat with the internet is votes are like links, in which the more websites that link to you, the higher you rank. But each link isn't equal, in which if New York Times links to you, that's way more valuable than if I link to you from neilpatel.com. So with the internet, if you want to rank higher, you need to get more people linking to you, and ideally, you need to get these links from authoritative websites like New York Times, CNN, Forbes. And if you can't get them, don't worry. Most people can't. You can still rank if a lot of people like neilpatel.com or Joe the Plumber link to you. So let me go over some emails that you can send people to get these links. Now if you use Ahrefs, you put in a URL, it shows you every place that your competition is getting links from. One place to get links from is by blogging on other sites. For example, you can blog on Forbes, CNN, a lot of these different type of sites, and there's way smaller blogs out there that still provide value. You also want to make sure that you're getting links from relevant websites. For example, if I have a music business and I want links from a music website or a blog, I may send them an email, something that goes like, "Hey John, I recently came across your blog and saw that you play the didgeridoo. I lost my voice playing the didgeridoo a few days back and I've been looking for videos on how to play it correctly. What's your take on them? Also, I've been writing up music articles and I would love a chance to write on your blog. I'd be happy to send you over a few of my writing samples. Cheers, Neil." You can also send another email if the blogger isn't that active. So I can say something like, "Hey John, I'm sad face. I used to love reading your blog, but you stopped updating it. Is it because you're strapped for time? As a loyal follower, I would love to help you out. If you want, I can help you maintain your blog and write posts for you on a regular basis. If you're wondering what I'm looking for, it's nothing. I'm just a loyal fan who doesn't want to see your blog disappear. Cheers, Neil." Now, you may not always be able to find someone's email address. If they have a blog, the chances are they have comments in their posts. So you can leave a comment. Hey John, I was wondering if you're accepting any guest posts on your blog. I couldn't manage to find your email address, but if you can email me at neil@neilpatel, I would really appreciate it. Cheers, Neil. Another tool that you want to use is Domain Hunter Plus. You can Google it. It's a free Chrome extension, and it tells you all the broken links. The internet's been around for ages. That means a lot of the links that people have on their web pages are broken because sites go down, right? Sometimes you don't renew a domain name, you don't pay for hosting anymore, you don't even care about the business. So a lot of people may be linking to other people in your space, like competitors. And you can actually email these people out and gain links. The template that I like using is, hey John, I was looking through your suggested links on your website and I noticed a few broken ones. Let me know if you'd like me to point them out to you. Cheers, Neil. And usually John will respond back with, yeah, sure, we'd love to know what links are broken. And I would be like, hey, here are a few broken links that I found. And if you're wondering what URL to replace the links with, check out my website. It provides similar information as the above broken links, but as you can see, my URL isn't dead. Wink. Cheers, Neil. This template works really well. I get this email probably once every 2 or 3 days. Now it's not the exact email, but it's close enough and it converts because I'm too lazy to go find all the broken links on my website and I'm too lazy to go find replacements for them. So when someone emails me this, I even link to them as a marketer. That's how well it works. Now if you notice with this email template, I did two things. One, I first sent them an email that looks like this, and then once they responded, then I sent them a follow-up. That's how you get more engagement and that's how you get more people linking to you. Another email that you can send if you have a local business is this. Hey John, my name is Neil and I work for LasVegasRealEstate.com. We recently created a tool for real estate businesses to help their visitors find movers in their area. Since we're located out of Las Vegas, we're offering this tool to Las Vegas businesses for free for a limited time. You can customize the tool at lasvegasrealestate.com/moving. Now I made up this domain name, so I don't even know if it exists. If you have any questions or need any help setting it up, let me know. If you have tools or you don't have any tools, you can always Google like localized tools or tools and then put in a keyword within your space, and you'll see a lot of free tools that you can just pop on your website. If you don't have a tool and you don't want to create one, don't worry, you can still get links from localized websites. I love using this template. Hey John, it looks like we have something in common. We both live in Las Vegas, and we of course want to see businesses within our community succeed. I noticed that you linked out to a few Las Vegas businesses from your website, which is awesome. But have you seen my website? Yes, as you probably already guessed, it's my business. If you're in a good mood, I would love a link. Wink. It's tough making a business work, so I'm willing to do whatever it takes to improve my odds. Cheers, Neil. When you're sending out all these emails, no matter what template that you're using, whether it's guest posting, broken link building, or even for a localized business, you want to make sure your emails are relevant. Don't just copy and paste these templates, customize them a bit, add a bit of flair, personality, and then send them off. You'll do way better. You also don't want to use tools that just blast out the email, like SendGrid or MailChimp or any of these tools. You want to send them out one by one. It works way better. You also want to increase your response rates by first striking up a conversation. Remember the email template I showed for the broken link building? I sent 2 emails. The first one was to strike up a conversation. The second one was to get them to link to me. When you use these templates, roughly 5 to 10% of the people you email should link back to you. If you're not getting these numbers, that means 2 things could be wrong. One, you're emailing irrelevant websites. So if you're in the plumbing business, you wouldn't want to email someone who's in the software business. You would want to email someone in the construction business, for example. The second thing could be that your email templates aren't customized enough. You can't just replace someone's name and not put in their domain name or try to make it customized before you shoot off an email. Lastly, you also don't want to pay for links. It goes against a lot of what Google and Bing and a lot of these search engines preach. It's risky and it can get you penalized or banned. I use these tactics with nutritionsecrets.com, and as you can see from the yellow line, the link count's going up. The tool that I use to track the link count is Ahrefs. It's ahrefs.com. It's a free tool. Yes, they do have paid plans, but it's a free tool. It tracks your links for free. You don't even have to sign up. And the blue line shows you how many web pages link to you. The blue line is always going to be higher. The reason being is one website could link to you 5 times, and that counts as 5 links. But you really want to look at the yellow line and make sure you have a lot of referring domains. So the more unique websites linking to you, the better off you are. And as you can see from this graph, which I showed you earlier, which is from nutritionsecrets.com, you can see by using link building and the click-through rate techniques that I discussed in Tactic 1, I was able to increase the search traffic. Again, this graph only shows search engine traffic. Specifically, most of the traffic comes from Google. But the dot on the left shows that the website wasn't even getting 10, 20,000 visitors a month from Google. And as you can see, the dot on the right shows on a monthly basis, the site went all the way up to 120,000 visitors a month just from search engines, and it's still climbing really fast. That's a short period of time. That's the power of these techniques. If you take the time and implement them within your own website, blog, your boss's company, whatever it may be, you will see results. Yes, it takes time, but the results are there. And usually within 3 to 6 months, things really start kicking in and the results start compounding. The next one, lead magnets. Now we discussed search traffic, and I know many of you guys aren't getting much traffic based on the surveys you guys filled out, but lead magnets, which is a way of collecting emails, is a great way not only to increase your traffic, but your revenue as well. So this is an example from I Will Teach You to Be Rich, in which Ramit Sethi, who once wrote a book, and the book's really great, it's called I Will Teach You to Be Rich as well, he gives away a chapter if you give him an email address. So you put in your name and your email, you get a chapter, and he collects emails. And then every time he does a blog post, he'll email back to you, or every time he's selling something, he'll let you know. I do this on my own websites, from Neil Patel to QuickSprout to Crazy Egg. It's so effective that I generate hundreds and thousands of visitors a month from email. This screenshot shows QuickSprout's traffic. As you can see, number 1, which is a campaign type, the report is just for campaigns, is email. 407,000 visitors in a 30-day period, all from email. That's a lot of traffic. Yes, a lot of those people are repeat visitors, but if you look under new users, it shows in that 30-day period, 103,000 new people came to the blog from emails. If someone comes to your website once, the chances are they're not going to come back unless you get their email address. And you'll also notice that emails will be your highest converting channel. I took a friend of mine, her name is Sarah Underwood, and we created a coffee table book to generate sales. And we generated most of the sales from emails, in which someone would come to our website, they would put in an email address, and then we would sell them on the coffee table book from emails. She generated over $30,000 in sales in just a few months. That's really good, considering she's just selling a coffee table book that's well under $100, right? Coffee table books don't cost a lot. I don't know the exact price. Nonetheless, she sold a lot of books. So when you're creating a lead magnet, you need to create something that's really appealing to people. You have to give them a good reason to put in their email address. And I'll teach you how to come up with the idea. But first, let me show you some examples. With QuickSprout, I tested something in which I made someone engage before I asked them for their email address. So this is a pop-up that would show up, let's say if you're on the website for 10 seconds or you're about to leave. And it would say, QuickSprout presents the step-by-step guide to generating monster traffic. And you would either click 2 buttons. Yes, send me the free traffic generation guide, or no, I have enough traffic. If you look, the no button is grayed out, right? The reason it's done that is so more people click on yes. If you click on yes, then it asks you for your name and email, and I send you a guide that generates more traffic. If you click no, I showed you something else. It says, congrats on having massive traffic. Because why else would you click no unless you already have the traffic? Enter in your email address and I'll teach you how to increase your conversion rate. By doing this, I got way more emails, roughly 30% more emails. Another example is the one on neilpatel.com, in which I take you to a journey. From aha to oh shit, I'm sharing everything on my journey to 100,000 monthly visitors. I'm learning a lot, and so will you. And then people put in their name and email address, and I share how I got to 100,000 visitors and how you can do the same thing too. And here's an example from Chefworks. This is an e-commerce website. As you're leaving their website, they say, hey, put in your email address and we'll send you a $10 off coupon. Their products, of course, cost more than $10, but it's a great way to generate more sales. This company does millions of dollars a month in revenue, and they generate a ton of it from giving this coupon. And it's still profitable, right? If people are buying something that's $100 and you give them $10 off, and the product only costs you $20, $30 to make, you're still making good money. Here's an example of a SaaS company. So BidSketch, helps you make proposals. So if you're a freelancer and you're trying to figure out how to make better proposals for your customers or potential customers, or you're an agency and you're trying to make proposals, they say, hey, put in an email address and we'll send you a sample proposal. Once you do that, they pitch you on using BidSketch. Here's one by Wistia. So if you go to Wistia, you want to watch a video, put in your email address. This is a great way to collect more email addresses. You can also use Wistia on your own website. I do this on my website, in which there's a lot of videos that you can watch. And if you want to watch the video, you have to first put in your email address. It works extremely well. Here's an example from a freelancing website. This guy's name is Benjamin. Benjamin says, hey, put in an email address and I'll give you a PDF that shows you the 10 mistakes that you should avoid when hiring a copywriter. So you put in an email address, you then get this PDF, you read it, and the funny thing with his PDF is it also helps convert more visitors into customers, because his number 10 is not hiring him. So his company is called Honest Copy. And he said, mistake number 10 is if you don't hire him. When you're creating a lead magnet, there's a lot of tools that can help you do this for free. One of them is HelloBar. It's mine. I own the company. And if you go to hellobar.com, you can create a lead magnet doing a lot of the things I showed you with pretty designs and template, all for free. Doesn't cost you $1. A few other tools are ClickFunnels and Lead Pages. These tools cost money. They're also great tools. Another one is Bounce Exchange. This is for enterprise companies or large-sized businesses. They charge thousands of dollars a month. They'll create the copy for you, they'll do the testing, and they'll help you maximize your sales. I don't have any affiliations with ClickFunnels, Lead Pages, or Bounce Exchange, just telling you these options so that way you can get more benefit. If you're also trying to figure out how to maximize your lead magnets, there's a few things that you should do. One, ask a question with a yes or no before you ask for an email. You'll generate 20 to 30% more leads. Journeys, like I have on neilpatel.com, also convert better than ebooks by roughly 16%. You should have multiple lead magnet offerings throughout your website, from your homepage to your blog to headers to exit pop-ups, whatever it may be. Have multiples of them. You don't have to have all of the ones that I showed, but just having a few of them will help you collect more emails. A good lead magnet also generates at least 5 emails for every 100 unique visitors. neilpatel.com is generating 7.4 emails for every 100 unique visitors on a bad day, and I'm getting almost up to 10 per every 100 unique visitors on a good day. If you're trying to figure out what your lead magnet should be, well, use SurveyMonkey, which again is a free tool, and ask them this one simple question. What can I help you with? So you can email people that out, or you can just call up people who you know that read your blog, or go to Craigslist and try to find people, or you can go to usertesting.com and get feedback. You can also use buzzsumo.com to see what's hot in your space. So for example, if you have a coffee store, you can type in like coffee and health, and that'll give you an example of, let's say, popular articles. So this Fox News article saying drinking coffee tied to lower risk of death. That had over 204,000, again, that's 204,000 Facebook shares. So if you give a lead magnet that talks about the benefit of drinking coffee and how it can reduce death or whatever it may be, and you can't just make it up. It has to be backed by stats or data, and it has to provide value. If you do that, you'll find that you'll get a lot of emails. Then you can market to these people. Number 5, Tripwire. So if you're not sure what a tripwire is, it's a very irresistible offer that you can't say no to. Think of it this way. When a website has 100 visitors, they're lucky if 1 out of 100 buy something. Why? Because most people don't want to buy when they go to a website. But if you give someone an offer that they can't refuse, you're going to get way more than 100 people to buy. For example, on neilpatel.com, if on the homepage I said, hey, I'll give you my consulting services for $10, I'll give you a month's worth of consulting service for $10. Just think about that offer. I know that's pretty crazy, and that's a really good offer, and I won't do that because it would take too much time. But the chances are way more than 1 out of 100 people are going to say yes to it. Chances are 5 or 6 or 7 or even 10 out of 100 will say yes. Now, when you get these people to buy this really low-end offer that's hard to say no to, you'll find that you can get a lot of those people, at least 30%, to buy a premium product that costs more money. Example of a tripwire is AuraBrush. So AuraBrush has this thing where they'll give you a free tongue cleaner to get rid of bad breath. All you have to do is pay for shipping and share their product on the social web. Their YouTube channel has over 18 million views, over 45 million channel views, over 100,000 YouTube subscribers, all by giving away the AuraBrush, which is their tripwire, for free, making you do a YouTube review or subscribing to their social channel, and after they upsell you into other products and services. Again, they don't lose money because they charge you for shipping, and I'm pretty sure in the shipping, they're baking in some of their hard costs to create that product. This company got acquired, that's how successful it was, by Dentech. They also raised money from investors. They were getting so much traction that people funded them $3.5 million to scale this campaign out and do paid advertising. If it works well for them, it can work well for you. Here's another example from Survival Life. This website teaches you how to survive in extreme conditions. Let's say if you're going camping or hunting, or let's say you're in the middle of a hurricane, they'll teach you how to survive. And they offer you this free survival flashlight. Again, you have to pay for shipping, but once you buy this product, they upsell you into more survival products. They could be digital products, they could be tangible products, they could be subscriptions to REI, right, which is a store that sells more survival products. By doing this, they're generating more sales than if they just had you come to the website and said, hey, buy this product for $100. By giving you a product that's so hard to refuse because it only costs a few dollars, they're much more likely to get you to buy the $100 product than if they only pitch you the $100 product. Now, to give you a real life example of something that I did, on quicksprout.com, I used to sell this digital course that taught you how to do marketing. And the course ranged from like $100 to a few $100 depending on the plan that you subscribe to. I don't sell it anymore. And I wasn't generating that many sales. A lot of people were like, hey Neil, this is expensive, I don't want to buy it. Or, hey, I need to know more before I buy something, I don't know you too well. So what I did is I created this plugin called the Fan Finder plugin, in which if you have a blog, for $7, you can buy this plugin that'll help you get more Facebook fans and Twitter fans. It'll block off a portion of your content and say, hey, to read the rest of this content, click the like button or tweet button, or you know what, you can just close this pop-up that's blocking the content. By doing this, I started getting a ton of people buying the product at $7. Yes, it didn't generate a lot of income on the front end from that $7 product, but right upon checkout, I sold them the other product for $100, $200. And you know what? I generated over $771,000 in sales from doing it. Will you generate that much income from it? Probably not, but it just shows you that tripwires work. If you're trying to figure out what tripwire to offer, survey your people. Again, use SurveyMonkey, ask them, what's one problem I can help you solve? It'll give you a good idea of what people really want you to solve. And if you can give them a solution that's cheap, easy to use, and it's effective, you'll get a lot of people buying it, and more importantly, they'll buy your main product that you have to sell right after. You can also look at the popular affiliate networks to see what's doing well in your space. If there's products that people are paying a lot of money for and you can make that product for really cheap and provide it for pennies on the dollar, you'll get a ton of people accepting your tripwire, and then you'll be able to upsell more people into your main product. If you're trying to create a tripwire, you can use Samcart. It's a paid product, but they have a free trial. Or you can use ClickFunnels, which I mentioned earlier and is another good tool. When you're creating your tripwire, there's a few things you need to know to maximize your revenue. The first is that your offer needs to be irresistible. If people are like, I'm not sure if I need it, you're not going to do well. Look at my $7 offer. It was so good I was getting more sales for the $97 product or the $100 product than if I was just selling the $100 product in the front end. You also don't want to charge more than $47 for it. Ideally, it should be less. I was charging $7 for mine. It was such a good deal that some days I was getting 10 out of every 100 people that saw it to accept that offer, and then out of those 10 people, 3 to 4 would buy the product that costs at least $100. Upon checkout, as I mentioned, you need to offer a more expensive product. If you don't do that, you won't see a ton of revenue. And if you're not getting at least 30% of the people to buy the higher end product, you're not doing well. That means there's something wrong within your tripwire. Whether it's the price, your offer's not good enough, you're not offering your more expensive product on checkout, whatever it may be, look for a 30% conversion number. Number 6, core offer and profit maximizer. Your core offer is the main product you're selling or the main products. Like if you have an e-commerce site, you have hundreds of products. And a profit maximizer is ways you can generate more revenue. If someone buys one product, how can you get them to buy 2 products? Or if someone spends $50, how can you get them to spend $100? So these are some companies I've helped. Google, GM, NBC, Salesforce, Intuit, Airbnb. Can you guess why they've done so well? If you guess because I've helped them, you're wrong. I wish I could say that, but yeah, sure, I've helped some of these companies grow, but I'm not the reason why Google's worth 3, 4, 5, $600 billion or whatever they're worth these days. They had a really good product that they're offering. They solved a pain point. If your product isn't great, if people aren't like, I love this, For example, with Airbnb, people are like, I have an empty room or I don't use my house all the time. Wow, I can generate income from my house and help pay for my rent or my mortgage. That's a pain point that they're solving. If your product or your service is really good, you'll do well. It doesn't matter if you hire a marketer like me or you get help from an entrepreneur like Elon Musk. If your main product sucks, I don't care who you have to help you out. In the long run, your business is going to fail. But don't worry, the first thing you need to do is find potential customers. Whether you have a product or you don't have a product, just find potential customers. Go to sites like Craigslist and recruit people. Ask friends if they'll give you feedback or introduce you to other people who are potential customers. Then you want to walk the streets, the malls, or anywhere to find more people and ask if they'll help you out and give feedback. You can also use LinkedIn, let's say if you have a B2B business, and send people emails to get their feedback. And I'll actually show you the template. So on LinkedIn, I would send someone an email like, hey John, I know you probably get tons of emails, so I'll keep it short out of the respect for your time. I'm working on a new startup and I want to make sure I go in the right direction. I value your opinion and I would love to send you a few questions so I can build something that'll help you out. Let me know if I can shoot you a few questions. I promise to be respectful of your time. Cheers, Neil. And you also want to use tools like SurveyMonkey to survey people. You want to use your email providers like Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Hotmail. Qualaroo, which is a paid tool to survey. I'll give you the questions on the next few slides. And Survey.io, which is a free tool and it also gives you the questions. Survey.io only works if you already have an existing product or service. So if you don't have a product, here are the questions you would ask. And again, you can use the tools that I described on the previous slide. You would say, hey, what's the biggest problem you're facing? From a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a pain point is this problem? 10 being a huge pain point. If you could wave a magic wand, what would your ideal solution look like? If I can solve this problem for you, how much would it change your life and how much would you be willing to pay for it, right? By getting the answers to these questions, you'll figure out not only what core product to offer, but how to make it better if you already have one. Because you don't want to create a product and then be like, oh, I think this is a pain point that people have. And if you already have a product, even if it's not good or you think it may be good, you can make it better by using survey.io. Again, this is free. So you put in your product name. For example, in this webinar, I'm talking to you guys about the advanced marketing program. So that's the title of the product. The product link is neilpatel.com and I select what type of site I have. Blog, e-commerce, software company, other if you have a tangible company. And they'll tell you what questions to ask. So you don't even have to come up with the questions. They give you 8 questions that you send out to people through an email or a tweet or whatever it may be, or even a link. People fill it out and it'll help you fine-tune your product or service so you can make it better. You have to survey at least 30 people, whether you have an existing product or you're trying to improve your current one. If you don't survey at least 30 people, you won't notice patterns. The patterns is what you need to maximize your sales. We did this with Crazy Egg. When I was starting out Crazy Egg, I was getting feedback from people. So much feedback on how to create an analytics solution that would help you improve your business. Because a lot of people are using Google Analytics at this time and they couldn't understand the data. So through surveying, we figured out that people wanted to visualize their data to improve their conversions, their sales, their messaging. And we asked them these questions and it was so effective that we got over 10,000 signups before the product ever launched. Keep in mind, I didn't know how to do marketing. This was back in 2006. We got coverage from Mashable and TechCrunch. That also helped drive a lot of signups. A few tech companies even tried to buy us for around $6 million bucks. And I was able to build a business that did well enough where my parents were able to quit their job. I know that's not important to a lot of people, but that was my life goal in which to make enough money where my parents didn't have to worry about working anymore. Here's the Mashable coverage. As you can see, March 10th, 2006, Pete Cashmore wrote an article on us, right? He talks about how we're crazy delicious or Crazy Egg is crazy delicious or whatever it may be. Here's another one. This is from Nick from TechCrunch. See what website visitors are doing with Crazy Egg. These blog posts drove a ton of signups. It helped us become successful and it even led us to getting those potential buyout offers. We never took them, but that's what gave us the opportunity to sell for millions of dollars early on. We weren't even making $1 at this point. And that's crazy. I was a little kid, right? I wasn't even 20 years old and I was getting an email from someone at a Fortune 100 company saying, hey, can you come in? We're interested in buying you. Even though I use these tactics to figure out how to make my main product really good, I learned throughout the whole process that it's easier to get your customers to spend more money than it is to acquire new customers. This is where profit maximizers come into play. And this is an example from ClickFunnels. As you can see, they try to get you to buy a digital product, an ebook, for $47. This is on their checkout page. After you put in a credit card number, the month, the year, they try to get you to do that. And if you're not getting at least 15% of the people to take you up on that offer, you're not doing a good job, in which your profit maximizer isn't the right offer. And here's a case study from Unleash Your Thin. This is a website that teaches you how to lose belly fat. They sell you a product that doesn't even cost $50, and after, they give you 3 other products that you can buy. They're upsells and downsells. It's so effective that they doubled their revenue from it. Their profit margins were so high that they started doing Google AdWords. AdWords, right, PPC, pay-per-click, is so expensive in the health and diet space that their margins are so good that they're able to compete. If you want to copy Unleash Your Thin and use their formula to try to double your revenue, here's what you need to do. After someone buys your main product, you want to offer them 3 other offerings. These are upsells or downsells. It doesn't matter if someone takes the first one, second one, or third one, they see all 3. So if someone buys the first one, they see the second one. If they buy the second one, they see the third one. But if they see the first offering and they don't buy it, they still see the second one. And whether they buy the second one or not, they still see the third one. The first one should help them get the results faster. And that one you charge 2x the price. So let's say your first offering is $100, your main product. Your first upsell would be for $200. They would get the results faster. If you're selling a weight loss product and it takes people 6 months to see the results, you would offer another upsell where they can see the results in 3 months for paying $200 extra. The second product should help them automate the process. So again, if it takes a lot of time out of their day to see the results, for example, if it's weight loss related and they have to make meals, you can say, hey, for $150, you're going to get meals delivered to your door so you don't have to create the meals. Or here's this meal guide that shows you what ingredients to buy and how to mix them and cook them so they taste good. The third one is a downsell. This is 2/3 the price. So if you have a $100 product, this one should be for roughly $66 and it should be a complementary product. For example, weightlifting or anything exercise related could be related to weight loss. When you're creating a profit maximizer, you can use tools like ClickFunnels or Samcart to add the upsells and the downsells with ease. If you're not technical, don't worry. These tools make it so you can do them through a WYSIWYG. Upwork is another option. I use this one myself, in which a developer for a few $100 will add upsells and downsells and connect it to my payment processor, and it'll all be integrated within my own domain name on my own site. Well, at this point, you're probably wondering what your profit maximizer should be. Anything that provides speed and automation works well. Anything that's a hot product also does well. You can use Google Trends, google.com/trends, to see what's hot. Just type in keywords within your space and it'll tell you what's trending and what's hot that people are interested in right now. You also want to make sure that your products have high profit margin. If they don't, you won't be able to do things like paid advertising. A good example of this is McDonald's. You buy a burger and they say, hey, would you like a drink with that? You're a small drink. They say, hey, would you like to supersize it? It doesn't cost them much more money to give you a large cup instead of a small cup. These are examples of profit maximizers. You buy the drink, hey, do you want fries with that? Do you want some chicken nuggets? Whatever it may be, McDonald's profit maximizes every single order. They train their employees to ask people if they want more upon the checkout. And here's an example of how I use a profit maximizer in my consulting business. Now, I don't do much consulting these days, but when I used to, I charge $10,000 a month. And I would say, hey, if you want the results quicker, I'll come down in person, we'll spend the whole day together, I'll outline everything, and we'll figure out how to kickstart the whole process for $20,000 for me to come down there in person. I would still charge them the $10,000 a month, but for an extra $20,000, I would come to their office. Plus, I would charge for airfare and hotel. And then I would say, hey, look, your team is taking forever to implement the tactics that I'm showing you guys. For $15,000 a month, my team can do it for you. And a lot of people would say, all right, I'll give you the $10,000 a month and I'll give you the $15,000 a month to have your guys do it for me, because then we would get more traffic and sales quicker. And then once our traffic went up, I would say, you know what? Yes, you're getting sales, but what if I can convert more of those visitors into customers? For $6,600 a month, I can offer you conversion optimization services. This is a complementary product. That's how I profit maximize my consulting business. Number 7, CRO hacks. Conversion optimization is like dating. Most people go to a website, like you go to a website, you see something, whether you want to buy it or not, people say, buy this, right? They shove it down your throat. That's why 1 out of 100 people may buy from a website. Conversion optimization is like dating. If you go up to a random person, you say, hey, will you marry me? Chances are they're going to say no. But if you court them, you take them out to coffee, you do some dinners, you move in together, you date them for a year or two, and then you say, hey, would you like to get married? The chances of them saying yes are way higher. That's how sales works. If you can get a visitor to know you first and you can build up the trust, you're way more likely to generate sales. Most funnels look like this, in which someone visits the website, they say buy now, they sign up, and then they go and use a product or service. We used to do that. With one of my companies, Hello Bar, I switched it around. I made it more like dating. I decided to engage with my visitors first. Even though it's a free product, people still have to sign up and use it. All right, you have to put in a name, email address, etc., password. So I said, you know what? Don't create an account first. Put in a URL and get started. And once you go through the process, then I say sign up to save the results. I'm engaging first. It was so effective, it increased signups by 52.11%. That's not bad. And all I did was engage and get to know my visitors before I asked them to make a commitment. Another example of making your visitors engage before you try to collect money from them is Crew. They created this quiz called How Much to Make an App. And they made you fill out questions. Yes, I want a web app. I want it to be able to not tilt, work on an Apple phone or Google phone, whatever it may be. And at the end, after you fill out all these questions, then they said, hey, this is how much it's going to potentially cost. If you're interested, put in your name, phone number, email address, your budget, etc. I also tried this on a consulting website to generate leads. I got 281% more leads by doing this. When you create these quizzes, there's a few things that you should know. Start off with 5 questions. No more, no less. 5 is a good number to start off with. Each question should have no more than 4 options. And with these options, you want to try to use images to describe them. That way people can see them and click on them really quickly without reading much. If you don't know how to create a quiz like this, or you don't have a developer, you can always use tools like leadquizzes.com to create it for you. In addition to that, you can also check out a company called Revolutionary Golf. They generate over $20 million a year in sales. It's a company that sells golf products, all by making you take a quiz first. In addition to that, you should also try to make it easy for people to sign up. How many times have you registered for application, a service, a checkout process, to buy a product, whatever it may be? I bet you over 100 times. But why? You already have an email and a password for Google. You already have one for Facebook. You already have one for Twitter. Why do they have to be different? Yes, you can sign up manually and use the same email address and password, but why should you even have to do that? Through services like Twitter authentication, Facebook authentication, LinkedIn, Google authentication, you can get people to sign up just with a click of a button, all for free. These services don't cost you money. I tried this out on my own website, Kissmetrics. So instead of making you sign up for Kissmetrics, I said sign up with your Google account. And if you're already logged into your Gmail or Google Analytics, it automatically signs you up for Kissmetrics with a click. And you know what that did? It increased my signups by 59.4%. But then I said, you know what? Sign up is a dirty word. A lot of people don't like it. What if I use the word login instead of sign up? I changed it from sign up to login. My conversions went up after the 59%, another 22%. So if you're going to try this, try using the word login, get started, instead of signing up, because a lot of people don't like that. It just shows using authentication is a great, simple way to generate more signups. And best of all, you don't have to pay a ton of people to do this for you. There's a lot of free tools and WordPress plugins that do it for you. Just Google, Google authentication, or how to generate signups using Google authentication or Facebook authentication. You should also be integrating psychology into your marketing. Unleash Your Thin does this really well. So Johnny is the main person behind Unleash Your Thin, Dr. Johnny Bowden. And on his checkout page, he says, yes, Johnny, I'm ready to start melting fat off my belly, hips, and thighs for today's special price of $37. If in the next 60 days I am not satisfied for any reason, I can get a full refund. By doing this, Johnny was able to increase his sales by 16%. Not too bad, all by using psychology within his checkout page. You should also be leveraging a 2-step checkout on your checkout page, in which you ask for a name and email or an email and password first before you ask them to fill out the rest of the fields. We do this on Crazy Egg. Think of it this way, it's like a micro commitment. If you already give someone an email address and a password, you're much more likely to fill out the rest of the steps versus not doing that. By doing this, we usually see a 10% increase in sales. Another example is pre-qualification. Michael Chang, who's all over YouTube, right? Six-pack shortcuts. He teaches you how to get like a six-pack or be really fit. Before you buy his product, he pre-qualifies you. What's your goals? He wants to know if you're the right person for his product. And by doing this, he's generating more sales. Another thing that you should be doing is personalizing the experience, like Michael Chang. And you can also do this by geolocation. If you look at the copy, it says, do you want more traffic? Hey, I'm Neil Patel. I'm determined to make a business in Las Vegas successful. My only question is, will it be yours? Now this is a screenshot of someone viewing this page from Las Vegas. Now if you are in Los Angeles, California, it would change from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. If you're in London, England, it would change to London. It's using GeoIP to put your location within the web page. By personalizing the experience, I got 31% more sales. And you can do this by using a tool called MaxMind. MaxMind inserts a person's location within your web page. It's not 100% accurate, but that's okay. You'll still see an increase in sales. And by using the GeoIP throughout your whole website, from your checkout page to the thank you page to your home page, you'll start seeing more sales. So now that you've learned 7 tactics that I use, you're probably wondering what's next. Well, hopefully you take some of the tactics and you put them into your business. Because if you do, you'll see more results. Even if you work for someone else, if you use some of them on your boss's site, you should see better results. And you know what? I know you may not have all the time in the world, but just take one of the tactics. I don't care which one it is, implement it, and share with me. You can email me directly at neil@neilpatel.com and just tell me what results you've gotten. Because I bet you will see something, and it should be something that's positive. Again, these tactics are just a few of the ones I use. There's way more. I've tested so many throughout my career. People always ask me, Neil, you're a really good marketer. How can I learn everything that you've learned? Well, I always tell people, I'm actually not that good. I've just read so much, I've tested so many things, and I've learned from others that I've figured out what not to do and what to do. After you've been doing something for well over 10 years, you eventually figure it out. And that's why I created the Advanced Marketing Program. It's something that I use to teach all my internal employees about marketing. Whether you're a computer science major that graduated from Harvard, or you're just a high school student that's looking to learn marketing, anyone that I've hired that goes through this whole program has learned a ton about marketing, enough where they can take a website and figure out how to analyze it really quickly and make it grow faster. So I decided to take this whole program and release it to the public. And it was so effective that I started getting raving reviews. Before I tell you about the program, let me actually share with you what a few people thought about it. So Sasha here is a lawyer, and she first came to me saying, hey Neil, you know what, I can't get a job right now as a lawyer, it's really hard. I'm like, what are you talking about? The economy is not that bad. You got a law degree, you passed a bar exam, how hard could it be? She was like, I can't even get a job for $50,000 a year. I'm like, you're kidding me? And she's like, no, I'm serious. So I taught her how to generate leads to her website, and she started getting customers. And I didn't do this on my own time because I didn't have enough time, but I did this by sending her through the Advanced Marketing Program. She was so happy that she actually quit her law practice, and she's now blogging. She told me that, hey, you know what? Whether my website's successful or not, I'm happy that I took this course because I'm learning marketing skills that apply to any business. So if you're just looking to learn marketing like Sasha, this course will help you. I had another person named Alana, and she has an e-commerce site called Skincare by Alana, in which she sells beauty products to make your skin look glowing and beautiful. This program was so effective for her that her traffic and sales went up by 30%. Her husband, Jared, and her took that money and they bought a better house and a new community so that way their kids can go to a better school, right? Private school is really expensive. But if you can buy a home with good public schools, your kids can get great education without you paying an arm and a leg each month. Another person who took the course is a guy named David Zhang, and he's an advanced marketer. He actually used to even own an SEO agency that did 7 figures a year. His profit margins weren't too high because he wasn't the best at business and finance, but he was able to scale his business, get customers, and he did quite well for him. Now David, he took the course and he's like, Neil, am I really going to learn anything? I'm an advanced marketer. What could you teach me? His big complaint was the first month was pretty slow, but after the first month, 2 months, 3 months, etc., he started learning a lot. He learned new concepts that helped him wrap his head around marketing. He was so happy with what he learned, he actually pitched me on hiring him. So I told David, you know what? If you want to work for me, I can't pay you the six figures that you're looking for because I already have a lot of marketers and I didn't really have an opening at that time. But he took a job at $5,000 a month. He was willing to take a pay cut because he learned so much from the program that he said, hey, if I work with you, how much more am I going to learn? And he was amazed on how much more he actually learned. He grew as a marketer. He sharpened his skill sets all around, from traffic acquisition to conversion optimization to funnels. He learned the whole gamut of marketing. And now, of course, David does really well within the organization. I wish I can still pay him $5,000 a month, but there's no way I can keep him without paying him six figures a year. Before I go into who this program is for, let me first break down who this isn't for. I get a lot of emails every single day from people saying, hey Neil, can you just give me money? And usually I just ignore those emails. The next big batch of emails that I get are, hey Neil, can you teach me how to be rich? I'm struggling. I want to learn how to make a lot of money really quickly. I wish I could tell you that this course is a silver bullet and you can take it and you're going to instantly start printing cash, but that's not the truth. If you don't take the time to learn the material, you don't put in the effort, the energy, the work, you're not going to get any results. And that's why you really have to be dedicated. If you expect quick results and you expect to make money really quickly, again, this is not for you. But on the flip side, if you own a business and you want to actually grow it, you want to get more traffic, you want to get more sales, like Alana. Alana got a 30% increase. Will you get that 30% increase? I don't know. But she got it. And she got it without even finishing the whole course. She didn't have time to implement each of the modules. She just implemented a few of them, the ones that applied to her business, and she got great results. If you also work for a company, whether you're an employee or you're the right-hand man of the business owner, whatever it may be, if you're looking to help a business grow and get more traffic, you too are a great fit for this course. If you want to start a business and you're unsure about what to do, this is actually one of the main reasons that David started working with me. He also wanted to learn a lot about entrepreneurship. And he's like, Neil, you've been through so many mistakes. You've done so many businesses that I want to learn what not to do. And he got it right. I've done well as an entrepreneur, not because I'm smart, but I've just made so many mistakes that I figured out what you shouldn't do. And I teach you a lot of that kind of stuff within the course. And if you follow the examples on what to do, you'll get results quicker because you'll avoid a lot of the mistakes that I made. If you're also a freelancer, this course is great for you because it'll help you not only get more customers, but keep them longer. I had one person who's a designer in the course, and she was talking about how her customers come to her, they pay her, and that's it. I taught her how to upsell her customers and how to keep them longer, and you know what? Her customers pay her 2.7 times more than they originally did. And that's great. And of course, if you're just looking to learn more about marketing, this program is great for you. The funny thing is, a lot of colleges, if you go to any major university and you go into the marketing department, at least one of your classes will teach material from one of my websites. And the funny thing is they charge an arm and a leg and they teach the material wrong. But if you take this program, you'll learn a lot more about marketing and you'll learn how to do it right. So here's what the course looks like. The program has 45 modules, and that's right, I said 45. Each module isn't small either. There's at least 5 video lessons in each one. Some of them have way more than that. You'll also find PDFs, worksheets, MP3 files. That way you can actually learn on your phone, your laptop, whether you're at the gym, whatever it may be, you have no excuse to learn. The reason there's 45 modules is because I don't want to give you a reason to not succeed. Doesn't matter what kind of business you have, there's different modules in there that'll help you out. Sure, you may not implement all of them, and that's okay. Just look at Alana. She didn't implement all of them. There's no way she could. She didn't have enough money to hire someone to help her out, and as a business owner, she didn't have enough time to go through all of them. But she picked and chose the ones that were most relevant to her website. She applied them, and it grew. I've broken down the modules in a way that's really easy to digest. You'll not only learn something, but you'll be able to implement the specific tactic within your business or the company that you work for. So I first go over the high-level concepts, just like I'm doing in today's webinar, where I gave you the 7 tactics. Then I give you the framework, examples, and templates so you can take those tactics and adapt them to your business. And then I show you step by step how you can implement each of those tactics on your own website. So let's dive into a few of the modules. As I mentioned earlier, there's 45 of them. There's not enough time for me to go over all of them, but I can go over a few. The first one is about researching your customer. If you don't really understand what your customers want or need, or what really makes them tick, how are you going to create a product or service or marketing message that sells to them? I'm going to provide you with a personal client questionnaire, and once you fill it out, it'll help you determine the true desires and fears of your customers. And you shouldn't use this maliciously or to just get people to buy your product. You should use it to help them understand the benefit of what you're selling. Then I'm going to go into competitive intelligence. Remember I talked about SEMrush, or what runs where, and they show you what ads and the text that your competitors are using? That's just skimming the surface. I'll go much deeper into how you can leverage those tools, plus more, to one-up your competition. You don't want to just copy them. You actually want to improve on their marketing campaigns. That way you can beat them. Then once you figure out what they want and what your competition is doing, you want to create a story about it. Have you heard the 80-20 rule, in which 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your customers? Well, that's going to be true in your business too. It's true in almost every business. The whole key is to figure out a story that relates to that 20% so that you make the most money. Yes, I know in an ideal world you would like to please everyone, but that's impossible. Do you think Apple is pleasing everyone? Of course not. Their iPhones are expensive. If they're charging $1 for it, you would have people in India having them all day long. But they're too expensive for some people in different parts of the world. As long as you relate to that 20% of your customer base, you'll generate the most money. Then I'll get into sales tactics. Have you ever noticed I don't really sell? It's because I hate selling. If you like what I have to offer, great, buy it. If you don't buy it. But I can show you persuasion tactics that I use and other people use, so that way you don't have to sell. No one likes anyone pushy. It sucks being a pushy salesperson. I think it's slimy. You shouldn't be one either. Then I'll cover the sales process overview. You know how we talked about a lead magnet, tripwire, core offer, profit maximizers, automation, and scale? Well, if you don't lay it all out right, how are you going to expect it to all flow together and maximize your revenue? Think about a home. People don't just build a home from the ground up. There's an architect, there's construction people, all processing it together, mapping it out, and figuring out what to do when and why to do it. That's what you have to do with your sales process. Once you figure out the order and why you should be doing certain things, you'll see that things flow better. If you just build a home without a plan, you may have a bedroom next to a closet, next to the kitchen, and a living room all the way on the other side of the house with a dining table over there. You don't want a janky house. Same thing with your sales process. You don't want a janky sales process. Then we'll get into the core offer. I know we talked about lead magnets and tripwires first, but if you don't truly understand what offer to give your customers, then you can't create the other parts. See, the tripwire affects your core offer. If you figure out your core offer and what you should ideally be offering people, then you'll know what kind of tripwire to offer to get the maximum amount of sales for your core offer. Same goes with the lead magnet. And if you already have a core offer, don't worry about it. Or if you have multiple products, don't worry about that. I'll show you how to maximize them so that way they're more appealing to your ideal customer. Then we'll get into the tripwire. The tripwire connects to the core offer. Once you know what people really want to buy, you can create a mini offer that people will love and it'll entice them to buy your core offer. I'll show you what other people are doing in a tripwire phase that's successful, and I'll show you how you can copy them and improve upon what they're doing as well. Then we'll get into a lead magnet. With the lead magnet, it's not just about looking at examples of what works for other people. It's also about making sure you put all the key elements to having a successful lead magnet. And I'll provide you with a checklist that'll ensure that you're creating the optimal lead magnet. Then we'll get into a profit maximizer. There's 5 different methods that you can use to increase your LTV. I won't bore you with them now, but I'll give you all 5 of them within the system. Then we'll get into email marketing. You've heard the saying that the money's in the list. I know I heard that saying years ago, but what no one ever really told me was how to make money from your email list. I wish I knew how to do that years ago, because I have a ton of emails. I have hundreds and hundreds of thousands, probably over 1 million now. But no one really explained how to make money from emails. So what I'm going to do for you is provide you with templates so that way you can start monetizing your email list. I'll also teach you about webinars. You see the big corporations using webinars all the time. They talk about the service, the products, problem solving, solutions, whatever it may be. There's a formula to running successful webinars. The big guys use it to generate more sales, and you can as well. Similar to video sales letters. We've all seen them. It's sales pitches on why you should buy something. Most of them are scummy and sleazy, and I don't think you should copy them. Even if they generate a lot of sales, you don't want to associate yourself with the scummy pitch. But I'll teach you how to create a classy sales letter pitch that'll generate more sales. It's a process, and as long as you follow this process and you don't overpromise, you should do fine. When you're doing all of this, you also want to track your conversions. And when I mean tracking your conversions, it's not just saying, oh, I had 100 visitors and 3 of them bought and they spent $100 each. That's $300. Well, no, 100 visitors isn't worth $300. They may buy more products down the road. That's called lifetime value. You want to know what each customer is worth through their whole buying cycle. In addition to that, if each of those customers costs you $50 to acquire, even SEO, your time, your salary, that all goes into expenses. If they cost you $50 each, those 3 customers netted you $150. Now if your product is physical or digital and there's tangible costs in there, your margins are lower as well. By knowing all these numbers, you'll be able to fine-tune your marketing. You can also use remarketing to generate more sales. Just like I use for Crazia, Kissmetrics, QuickSprout, a lot of people do, even Amazon uses it. But I bet you do remarketing wrong. Most people do. I used to do it as well. I once went to a conference and someone taught me how to do remarketing a smart way. It was so simple. He's just like, Neil, people go to your homepage, you sell them on a product or service, and if they don't buy, you show them an ad and you send them back to your homepage, right? And I'm like, yeah, or the product page, wherever they left off. He's like, well, if they didn't buy and they already saw your product page, why would you send them back to it? Shouldn't you adjust the pitch? And I was like, you're right. This is so silly. I should have known this. I'll teach you how to do remarketing so you don't make the silly mistake that I made. And of course, you can also generate a lot of traffic through paid media or social media. I created a blog a while ago called Nutrition Secrets. With Nutrition Secrets, I took the blog and it generated over 30,000 visitors in the first month. Can you guess how? It wasn't SEO. It was mainly social media, and I wasn't even paying for the traffic. There's actually a simple process that you can follow to generate more social shares and more social traffic. As long as you follow it, you'll get more Facebook traffic, more Twitter love, even Pinterest traffic. The possibilities are endless. Even LinkedIn if you're a B2B company. And of course, content marketing. You already know I know a lot about content marketing. I use it for each one of my businesses, and I won't get into why you need to be using content marketing. So now let's dive right into the portal. I actually want to show you what you're going to get. As I mentioned, there's 45 modules. It just keeps going and going. There's a lot of information. Don't feel overwhelmed. You don't have to do all of them. Even if you just take a few of them like Alana, you can get results. Sometimes I'll add more modules. Sometimes I'll remove some. You get lifetime access. I'm always fine-tuning the modules so then that way the information's up to date and you're learning the latest and the greatest. These tactics aren't short-term in which they'll just teach you how to get rich quick. These are long-term tactics that'll work for any business. And let's dive into the first month. As you can see, there's over 12 months worth of content. But let's go into month 1. The content's dripped. The reason I actually drip it is a lot of people feel that they already know a lot of this information. But look at David. David felt he was an advanced marketer and knew everything. And yes, he is an advanced marketer. But after the first month, even though the content was a bit slow for him, he ended up learning things that he never knew about before. So let's dive into the first module. As you can see, there's videos. Some of the videos are only a few minutes long. Some of them are 20 minutes. There's a lot of MP3 files. There's also PDFs that you can download. There's also worksheets. There's a ton of videos in each of these modules. There's also months worth of content, right? Here's an example of month 2. You can see module 5, module 6, etc. Persuasion. This is some of the stuff that we talked about, which gets into copywriting. So now let's go back into the presentation. So at this point, you're probably wondering, what is this going to cost you? Well, when I first released the program, I used to charge $6,000 for it. And you know what? A lot of people were actually paying that price point. There was one issue that really bugged me though. There's a lot of small and medium businesses, or even people who just want education or work at a company who want to learn marketing from me. And at a $6,000 price point, a lot of those people aren't able to learn. So to be more friendly with small and medium businesses, because that's one of my goals in life is to help them out, I've made it a one-time price for $997. That's right, instead of a one-time payment of $6,000, you can get it for a one-time payment of $997. And of course, if you prefer a payment plan, I have something for you as well. You can get this course for 6 payments of $297. You're probably wondering why 6 payments of $297 is more expensive than a one-time payment of $997. I want you to think about this example. Imagine yourself going to the gym. You want really good results, so you sign up for a personal trainer. If you just buy 1 or 2 sessions, there's a good chance you're going to quit. Why? Because after 1 or 2 sessions, you're not really going to see any results. On the flip side, if you buy a package of 20 personal training sessions up front and you get a discount for it, you're going to go through all 20 sessions because you don't want to lose your money, right? The amount of money you put in, you're not going to let it go to zero. For that reason, after you go through all 20 sessions, you see results. Yes, it may have been hard, a lot of work, but you'll be happy with the results. So much so that you actually continue pushing forward and you do more personal training sessions. That's why I'm giving you such a big discount for paying up front, because I know it'll increase the likelihood of you continuing, putting the time and effort that you need to grow your skills in marketing and growing your business. Now here's what you need to do next. Click the Get Started button right now on your screen. Complete the checkout process, check your email, and begin your journey. But best of all, it doesn't stop there. I have a few surprise bonuses for you. If you sign up right now, you'll get an implementation plan. This is something to help ensure your success. Think of it this way. How many times have you read something on the web or signed up for a course, you get all this new information and you don't implement anything? It happens to all of us, including me. So we've created a project management system that you can use along with your team and implement everything that you've learned in this course. It'll help you keep track of everything so that way you're getting results for your business and growing. On top of that, I have another bonus for you. I've grown all my businesses through blogging, so much so that I've created a training video that explains how I've achieved over 1 million visitors a month to my blog and how you can get similar results. Now granted, if you have a plumbing company in Wisconsin, you're not going to get 1 million visitors a month to your blog. But through this training video, you will get way more traffic than if you try to do blogging on your own. Best of all, you won't have to spend $1 on advertising. And you know what? The surprise bonuses don't stop there. So I have another bonus for you. It's my $1 million Rolodex. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Have you ever wondered how I was able to grow Kissmetrics to over 1 million visitors a month in such a really quick period? As you can see from this graph, here's 1 million visitors in 30 days. That's a lot of traffic. That's not too shabby considering the marketing department only consists of one person. That's right, one person was able to drive all of that traffic. Or have you ever wondered how Crazy gets over 409,000 monthly visitors? Or how Hello Bar gets over 350,000 visitors a month? Just look at this screenshot. Here's traffic of the Crazy Egg blog. 409,000 visitors. That's a lot. Or how Hello Bar, as you can see, gets 350,000 monthly visitors. Again, that's a ton of traffic. I've done all of this through contractors, and not just any contractors, ones that move fast and are really affordable. I have contractors for SEO people, copywriters, PR, web designers, developers, marketing automation people, link builders, and many more other people. Anything you can dream up of in the marketing space, the chances are I have a list of contractors that are perfect fit. Let me give you an example. I used to pay big consulting companies $5,000 for an infographic, and you know what? They actually did a pretty good job. But was it really that much more different than hiring a contractor for less money? Well, let's take a look. Here's infographic number 1, how do colors affect purchases? And here's infographic number 2, the science of social timing. Do you notice the difference? I don't. Sure, the colors may be a bit different, the design is really similar. They both got over 10,000 social shares and 200 backlinks. In essence, they both did really well. The first infographic received 185,000 visitors, and the second one received 193,000. The visitor count is close enough. But do you know what the big difference was? The price. The big consulting company charged me $5,000 for the first infographic. And the second one? A contractor for $800. It was so effective that we decided to do 50 more graphics. At $800 a pop, you can't go wrong. That's what helped the blog grow at such a fast pace. And my contractors don't just stop with infographic designers. Take a look at the homepage of neilpatel.com. Can you guess what it cost me? Not much at all. I paid $400. And you know what? My conversion rate went up from 12% to 16%. That's a huge difference for only $400. We have relationships with designers who charge anywhere from $55 to $85 an hour. These guys don't overbill you on hours. They're quick, they're efficient, and they produce really good results, as the examples I showed you previously. You get this bonus in 45 days. You're probably wondering, why do you have to wait 45 days? Well, these contractors are so good that I still use them for my businesses. The last thing I want people to do is sign up for the program, cancel within a few days, and have a list of all my contractors. Then these guys get overwhelmed and bombarded, and next thing you know, they won't be able to do my work. So I'm controlling the flow to make sure that these contractors have enough time to take on everyone's work, which is why you'll get it in 45 days of signing up. And best of all, my favorite bonus of all, is the Facebook group. You have access to me and my team. We'll help you with any problem you have. I know that may sound crazy, but I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Here's an example of Courtney. Courtney is in the program and she said, you know what, I'm currently doing homework for modules 2 and 3 and I'm discovering that a lot of my competitors don't use AdWords or PPC campaigns. Are there any additional tools that you may recommend that can help me collect data on landing pages or analytics? I could do this manually, but I'm hoping that there's something that can help me cut down the time. There's a lot of people within the group that help respond. Even I did. I even told her about SEMrush. And you know what? If Courtney comes back and says, I don't know how to use these tools, we'll be there in the group helping her, holding her hand, and walking her through the whole process. Here's an example from Roshan. He has a car blog and he's looking to sell leads to dealerships. He's not sure what type of lead magnet to offer. Mike chimed in and he actually broke down, hey, are you trying to sell leads that are for people with good credit, bad credit? All these things affect which type of leads that you have and who you can sell them to. So he goes into depth after Roshan answers the question and he breaks down how he would actually create lead magnets for different type of leads that you can sell to car industries. On top of just giving you general examples that work for any type of businesses, we actually dive really deep into your business and give you specific examples that you can use to grow. Here's an example from Peter. Peter was asking, hey, how do I generate more consulting leads? What kind of tripwire and lead magnet should I be using? Mike chimed in and said, you know what? You should be offering a 15-minute strategy session. You can guarantee that they'll learn something and increase their sales without them spending $1. Peter responded with, my concern is that people may stay away because it's like inviting them to a cold call or a sales pitch. And that's the main reason that Peter also avoided this webinar. But you know what? It worked. Peter's a member and he's in the group. Mike ended up responding to him and explained to him how he has a wrong mindset. If you can help people with their sales, their conversions, it's actually a disservice to not help them out. Think of it this way. If you have ice cream and kids are coming up to you saying, I want to buy ice cream, and you say, hey, I don't know if I want to give you the ice cream. I don't want to make it seem like I'm selling you. Well, the kids are asking for the ice cream. Why wouldn't you give it to them? So once Peter understood that, he responded with, I see how my mindset was off. That really helps me. We don't respond with just generic responses. We give you customized answers to your business that'll help you grow. Even I chimed in. I broke down to Peter that when he's doing strategy sessions, he has to ask people enough questions. If you don't ask people enough questions and very detailed questions, you're going to get a lot of time wasters on these calls. Then Peter's going to do them and he's going to be like, hey, I had 20 calls and I didn't make one sale. And for that reason, I told him, make sure you ask enough questions and that people respond to them before you give them a strategy session. On top of that, we had a person named Jim in the group and he said, hey, I'm selling B2B promotional products. Mike and I actually have a friend who's in the same industry They're not competing in the same region. So what we actually did is we put Jim on a phone call with our friend Brandon, and Brandon broke down how he generates leads from LinkedIn and created a 7-figure business doing the exact same thing that Jim wanted to do. We go above and beyond for people within our course. If you're in, we're going to do whatever we can to help you succeed. As a heads up, this won't be open forever. If you're wondering why, it's because we can't provide service to everyone out there in this world. By limiting the number of people within the Facebook group, we can ensure that we can help every single person who's in there. If too many people were in the group, there is no way that my team and I can keep up with the demand. And that's why we can only guarantee these bonuses if you sign up right now. And if you're not happy with the course, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Within that 30-day period, if you say you're not happy, no questions asked, we will refund your money right away. So let me give you a quick recap of everything that you're going to get. You're going to get the Advanced Marketing Program, which has over 45 modules worth of information. These just aren't little quick tidbits of knowledge. They're really thorough, they're detailed, there's MP3 files, worksheets, PDFs, video material that take you through everything you need to know about marketing. This program is so good, I make sure every one of my employees who's in marketing learns this before they actually start. You're going to get the bonus number 1, which is the implementation plan. This is where you and your team can join the project management system to ensure that you're actually implementing everything we're teaching you. You're going to get the training video that'll teach you how to create a blog that gets to 1 million visitors a month and counting. If you have a blog that's on a really small niche like plumbing in Wisconsin, you're not going to generate 1 million visitors, but this course will help you get more traffic than if you didn't watch the training video. You'll get my $1 million Rolodex. This is where all my contacts are. These are the people that I still use today for my infographics, my landing pages, my conversion optimization, my link building, my SEO, a lot of the things that I don't have time for anymore. And best of all, you'll get a 1-year membership to my private Facebook group. As you saw, we help out people with any type of problems they have.